Yeah. What up, friends? So, a lot of you guys really like the icicle miner that we put out maybe like a week ago at this point, probably longer depending on when you're watching this video. And a lot of people said, oh my God, I really liked it. My Sanctum runs have been great. My Sanctum runs have been smooth. This was absolutely fantastic. Now, what if I told you there was something you could do that was slightly better? What if you're just bored of icicle mines or it wasn't your playstyle, but you still wanted something that could just blow up Sanctum? Now, playing before you is the Exsanguinate miner that my buddy Gilly gave me. I know, another miner. I'm sorry, but I am like a fish with like the squirrel syndrome. Something shiny, something cool, something that does Sanctum. I'm in. I want to play it. I'm all about it. Now, icicle mines I thought was fantastic. I loved every minute of it. But this thing just blows up everything. I was able to play this build and not have a care in the world about anything. I didn't care about any affliction. I stopped using the merchant strat. If you don't know what the merchant strat is, there's a video on my page. There'll be a link in the top right. You can go click on it. It'll bring you to that video. But I stopped doing the merchant strat. I went straight for room reveals. I just went pretty much crazy with it. And it ended up working out really, really, really well. Now, the cool thing about this is that if you don't want to build icicle miner because it was too expensive, this might be a little bit cheaper, assuming we don't have the same issues we ran into with icicle mines. We went to price it and it was all blown up out of proportion. Now, I know the video before he was playing really cool, and if you stick around to the end, you'll actually see how the Lycia fight goes and some kind of odd twists and turns that happened when I was trying to record it. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but it was pretty cool. So stick around until the end. And if you like these Sanctum builds and you want to see more other things that I'm doing with Sanctum, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're playing in Sanctum. Are you playing anything really cool? Or there's something I should be looking into or trying? Because I'm all about listening to what you guys have to say. And in my last video with the Tornado Shot character, you guys gave me some really cool ideas. So I'm all ears for what you guys are playing or what you're doing or what you want to see. You just let me know and I'll deep dive into it. For now though, let's talk about this and what is going on. So we click on over back to our character, you can see we look awesome. Our movement speed kind of is mediocre, and everything about this character is really cool. The MTX for the character is really cool. We can just kind of like poop out flowers everywhere. Or if you're feeling a little bit more promiscuous, you can fling out we'll call it mercury everywhere. But overall, we are playing Exsanguinate mines. We have the ability to turn on Righteous Fire. Righteous Fire gives us more spell damage. We have some bear traps that we throw. We have a brand. We have mines. We left click and right click and move our way to straight victory. Now, overall, I like the build a lot. The build feels really good to play. It's a lot of fun. And it's pretty straightforward and not too crazy. If I press I and we look at the gear, we'll go over everything and what's going on and how it's all working. Now, I'm going to start with the main 6-link and we'll go from there. Our 6-link is a Diala's Malfaction armor. Now, you'll notice mine is 4 green and 2 red, and we'll talk about that in a second. In our 6-link, we have a level 35 Exsanguinate, which is just like a metric ton of damage. We have an Empower support to kick the damage to the moon. We have Anomalous Trap and Mine, Anomalous to reduce the mana cost, life cost, and the reservation of it. We have High Impact Mine. This gives us increased mine throwing speed with its quality. High Impact Mine is just like a ton of extra damage. We pair that with Minefield support so that we can throw a bunch of mines and just kind of kick it and do what we need to do. And then we have Charge Mines. Charge Mines is how we're going to get our Frenzy Charges and our Power Charges. This is a really cool, important one. Now, the green sockets in our Dahlias say that they gain 30% quantity. We put this on the Trap and Mine so that we get more reduced mana and life cost and efficiency. We put it on the High Impact Mines to get a ton of mine throwing speed. We put it on the Minefield support for more mine throwing speed, and we put it on the Charge Mines for a lot of damage. The red sockets give us gem levels, so we kick up our Empower really high and we kick up our Exsanguinate really high. This gives us that really big boost of damage that the build really needs. One of the big differences between the Exsanguinate miner and the icicle miner is you're going to notice the mine throwing speed is nowhere near the same, and we have to compensate for that. When we played the Deadeye, we had a lot of mine throwing speed. It felt really smooth, but when you first start playing the Exsanguinate miner, until you really start getting some mine throwing speed, it feels very mediocre and it doesn't feel as comfortable. But once you get the mine throwing speed and you get it kicked up, especially with the Dialas and the weapons and everything else, it feels absolutely fantastic. Now moving over, our weapons are pretty simple. Mine are a little bit more expensive and a little bit more juicy. I eventually upgraded my weapons. I bought +1 fractured spell skills for super cheap. If you buy these weapons done and you just kind of take a look, you only care about 2 things: spell skill gems and fizz on them. So it looks like you can pick up the weapons between 5 and 20 divines. The base does not matter. We do so much damage. We do not care. We do not need a Sambar Scepter. This is just what I got at the time. But the only thing that we really care about on these weapons is all spell skill gems, fizz skill gems, and a suffix for mine throwing speed. Everything else is extra and just, I mean, it's nice, but it's not needed. We don't care about the penetration because we're Inquisitor. All we care about is the fizz spell skill gems and all spell skill gems. Everything else is a bonus. Now, I got really lucky. I managed to find this base with 106% spell damage. These bases fractured are like 1-3 divines. Probably done. These look like they're 25. But you really don't need the extra spell damage. You do so much damage, which we'll see when we go to the POB, that it's just extra. It really is. As long as you get spell skills, fizz, and mine, you are set to the moon. Our weapons have a cast when damage taken setup for Immortal Call. We're a pretty glass cannon, I won't lie to you. You know, we could take a hit, 2, but if that guy blinks on you with that sword, you know that guy, he blinks around, he don't care, he just blinks around, he hits you, you die. It ain't no saving that one. Herald of Purity in the other one. Our other weapon, we're gonna have an Arcanist brand, Assassin's Mark, and Divergent Purifying Flame. Purifying Flame so that we can leave consecrated ground on the enemy so they take more damage. Assassin's Mark so we just crit them to the moon, and Arcanist brand is we're gonna use to apply these debuffs to the enemies. Our helmet, no surprise here, is Heat Shiver, as we're gonna be converting all of our damage. I'm sure you saw the Himsara, but we'll get there. We're gonna be using Heat Shiver with the Exsanguinate mod on it. We don't need a fancy corrupt. We don't need anything special. These Heat Shivers right now, there's not a whole lot of them, I guess. There's 26 of them. They're like 150 C at the time of recording. So all you need that. Now with the Heat Shiver, we're gonna be putting our Righteous Fire in there. We're gonna be putting our Flame Dash, our Enhanced Support. Enhanced is for Detonate Mines. We're gonna be using Detonate Mines, very similar to what we did with the Icicle Miner. We use this Detonate Mines and we put Enhanced on it, so it gives us more mine detonation speed. What that means is you can see right now just how fast these mines are detonating, how fast everything's happening. But if I swap to the one without mine detonation speed, you can actually see a visual difference in how quick it takes for these mines to detonate. So we want to do this mine detonation thing so that we set off our mines nice and quick. Our amulet, we're going to get a replica Dragon's Fang with Exsanguinate skill gems. Unfortunately, Awaken POE trade doesn't show us what it is, but I'll pull it up on trade for you. There'll be a trade link in the description down below that you guys can go click on that and it'll bring it right to what you're looking for. Hopefully these aren't too expensive anymore. Like I said, this build is infinitely cheaper than what we were running. Our rings, we need a dex-based ring with some resistances. We are doing Sanctum. We really don't need resistances, but I also like to map a little bit with this character, so resistances were kind of needed. We need dex. We need a lot of dex, so you're going to need a ring with dexterity. Our other ring, we're doing a Circle of Guilt ring, with has Herald of Purity buff effect and regular damage effect. These can be catalysts for more damage. I forgot to catalyst them because I was doing so much damage as is, it didn't even matter. We have one of these. I know in my inventory we have a second one, but we'll talk about that later. The implicits on this ring do not matter. Just get a ring that has Herald of Purity buff effect, Herald of Purity physical damage while affected by Herald of Purity. That's all you care about. That's all you need. And rings with those mods, roughly a divine or 2. At the time of recording, in front of you, with these rolls. This is subject to change. Our belt, Magnate. Best in slot belt. Just damage on damage on damage on damage on damage. When I took this belt off and played with Mage Blood, I noticed a lack of damage. This belt with Mage Blood, 10 out of 10, hits like a truck. Mage Blood is an option, and you can do Mage Blood. If you do Mage Blood, the only thing that really changes is we lose damage from our Bottled Faith and we lose damage from our Aziri's Promise because we substitute it with a Silver Flask for Onslaught and a Consecrated Ground Flask. The big difference between Mage Blood and Magnate is you swap damage for movement speed, pretty much quality of life. So if you want a little bit more quality of life and you have a Mage Blood, you can put it on. But if you just want damage on damage on damage, Magnate. I have cleared many a Sanctums with Magnate, and I've cleared many a Sanctums with Mage Blood. Even if you have a 2 passive Mage Blood, you could just like swap these out for like Quicksilver Movement Speed Flask or whatever. But you just want Magnate. Magnate's good enough. Even with this build too, you see right away, I have Hymn Sorrows. My Hymn Sorrows, they are corrupted with +2 socketed Aura Gems. These were like a whopping like 4C, 10C. In our gloves, we have our Hatred, we have our Enlightened Support, we have our Zealotry, we have our Summoned Skitterbots. Pretty straightforward. And our boots are pretty much the same thing. Just, you know, resistances, life, movement speed. I guess we don't have enough. Oh, we do have enough decks. Why does it tell me I don't have enough decks? I have no idea. But yeah, we have Arrogant Support. We have Vitality, we have Bear Trap, which, oh, I know why. I'll explain in a second. We have Bear Trap and we have Precision. Now you're gonna notice right away, the same thing that I forget about all the time. Bear Trap says 155 decks and it's like, hey game, wait, you don't have that, sir. But do not forget that our Replica Dragon's Fang has a 15% reduction to attributes. So while this is red, it's actually usable because of the Replica Dragon's Fang. That's it, that's the build. It's straightforward. It doesn't really need anything fancy. You don't even need these all quality gems, man. Like this one all quality gem, this is just a little bit. I would get it. I mean, I would definitely get it. It's nice. It's good to have. It's like 60C. And unleveled one's like 30C. I mean, it's nice to have. It's pretty nice to have. Not bad. You know, I would say it's pretty cool. Now, where is the POB? Here it is. Now, if we bring up the POB just to show you guys how to calculate damage, right? And this could be like, why is this telling me I have Gale Force? And what the hell? It's like the wrong stuff. What the hell? I have no idea. Anyways, we chill all of our enemies and we shock all of our enemies. We have power charges, we have frenzy charges, we do not have tailwind. This is it. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. We're always on low life. We go to our skills, we go to our Exsanguinate, we throw exactly 23 mines. We include this in the full DPS. And we do roughly 351 million DPS. And that's without like calculating mines detonated. And that's with our flask on. I mean, we do damage. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You know, we also didn't click on consecrated ground because we're on consecrated ground. We didn't click, you know, the enemies like anything fancy. You know, we click this because of assuming we brand and the purifying flame happens and the enemy standing on consecrated ground, the enemy didn't move and the brand stuck to the enemy, we add like 100 million DPS. But I mean, you know, assuming none of that happens, we just do the basic of basics and we just cast all of our spells and blow up all of our mines, 376 million DPS. It's not very hard to drop 23 mines and preload a boss and then click them and blow up the boss. It's not. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. And the rotation is the same as the Icicle Miner if you played it. You turn on Flame Thingamabobber, you drop some bear traps, you drop some mines, you press all your flasks, you drop some stuff, and you just blah, 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 blah. No, I make a lot of weird noises. I'm sorry. As far as our tree goes, we are playing an Inquisitor. We play an Inquisitor for a couple of reasons. One, Inevitable Judgment says critical strikes ignore monsters' elemental resistances. We get a lot of crit. We do a lot of crits. We do a lot of things. We should have a really high crit chance. Our crit chance is actually 100%, so you just ignore enemy resistances, which is why I said the base of your weapon does not matter. We take Righteous Providence so that we have increased critical strike chance for 50 per points of strength in it, whichever one's lower. So we get a bunch of free crit because we have 294 strength, 404 int. We take Sanctuary for consecrated ground so that we're on consecrated ground. We take Pious Path for regeneration because of the nature of the skill that we're playing. The skills tree, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. If you're wondering how to level it, I did a really cool video the other day about a really new fun leveling guide. If you hate Hollow Palm, you can check that video out. That'll teach you how to level with some Mana Forge arrows and some cool shenanigans. And overall, the tree is really straightforward. We start on the Templar side and we wrap around in a giant circle. You need nothing fancy on this, nothing fancy at all. We take some life, we take some damage, we take some life, we take some RMR, we take some spell crit multi. We have one large cluster jewel. We get battle hardened force multiplier iron breaker for our large, and our mediums are expert sabotage and guerrilla tactics. Now the small jewels that I have, they're just crit multi and life, so these aren't even that expensive. We have double crit multi and life. You really don't even need them. They just add a lot of extra damage. Like I said, this build is pretty much straightforward. It's damage on damage on damage. Because we reserve life with arrogance support, we're on low life, we could take pain attunement, and otherwise just go in, go have fun. I do have one tattoo. I have +1 level of strength spell skill gems. This kicks up our Exsanguinate to the next level, and if you want even more damage, you can get a 21 Exsanguinate. You don't need 2120. This the all quality, or the quality doesn't do anything, so you just get a 21 gem and just kind of kick it. If you want even more damage and to get more levels, just take some of these jewel sockets and put more of those, you know, crit multi jewels in. You can fit one in there, you can fit one in there, and overall the build itself is sweet. I just wanted to show you guys it's real easy, real straightforward, to the point. Now if you have any questions about the gear, how to make the gear, you're confused, you're stuck, things aren't working, don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. Don't hesitate to join the Discord, come by the live stream. I'll be streaming, you know, for the remainder of the league. I love Path of Exile. I think it's in a great spot. Even if I'm playing BPL, because you might see this video while BPL is going on, if you have questions, feel free to ask. Do not be a stranger. And if you're playing something cool for Sanctum and you want to share what you're playing, don't forget to leave a comment down below and tell me all about what your Sanctum experience is like and what you like and what you don't like. I've heard great things about Shockwave Totem, different variations of Tornado Shot, Arcanist, or not Arcanist, Stormbrand. So I'm all ears. I would love to see what you guys are playing. And if you want to share a POB or two or like talk about it, I'm be happy to see it. But for now, friends, I'm going to go get ready for BPL. I'm going to get this video out to you guys, and stick around if you want to see what happens with the Lycia fight and just kind of how this blows it up with me being an idiot. So long, friends. I'll see you guys in the next one.
I do so enjoy torturing you. Rise, my servant. Playing with fire will get you burned. The scourge will consume this world of sinners!